Hello everyone and welcome to our weekly comic preview, the show where we will fill you in on a couple of our selected comics that are arriving in store this Wednesday. First up this week we have Cyborg issue 1. In a storyline called The Imitation of Life, Victor Stone aka Cyborg finds himself thrown into conflict with almost every robotic threat the DC universe has to offer. From writer John Semper Jr., the man behind Spider-Man the animated series, and the artist Will Conrad who helped create the Angel and Faith comics, comes this all new storyline that sees Cyborg once again step up to protect the world from robotic threats. Next in line we have Harley Quinn Rebirth issue 4. After the events of the first few comics in this series, Harley has successfully quelled the zombie uprising at her home on Coney Island. However, even as Coney Island begins to rebuild, a new threat is lurking on the horizon. Even though Harley hates to leave her home in the state that it's in, she must set out on a journey that will take her halfway around the world and into the clutches of a bizarre robotic enemy. Third in line this week we have part 1 of 6 of a new comic featuring the half-human, half-demon Raven from Teen Titans. In a storyline called The White Carnival that is set in between Teen Titans issue 24 and Teen Titans Rebirth issue 1, we see Raven take a break from the team and move to San Francisco to stay with her estranged aunt and face her most perilous challenge yet, high school. As Raven discovers more about her human side, one of her classmates goes missing under mysterious circumstances and she must face an evil like none she's known before. Our fourth comic this week is Trinity issue 1. Following the core of the Justice League, we see Wonder Woman, Batman and Superman travel from Metropolis to Gotham and beyond to learn what forces launched their heroic careers. In a storyline called Better Together, we will see the bonds these three heroes share be explored and redefined by superstar writer/artist Francis Manapul. As the trio take on a journey of discovery, it's not long before a new threat will be found, and the friendship our heroes share will be tested to its limits. Fifth in line this week we have a comic that we featured last week in the form of Dark Souls Legends of the Flame issue 1. Set in a realm where hollowed champions rise and fall with the ages and bonfires blaze against the Everdark, myth and legend will forever prevail. From the desolate worlds of Namco Bandai's critically lauded video game series comes this unsettling collection of all new Dark Souls tales. Building upon the extensive lore of the franchise, this action-packed anthology is essential for all fans of the game. The reason we've featured this again this week is because we've received an exclusive UK cover from Diamond Comics this week, so if you're a hardcore Dark Souls fan, then I'd recommend you come and pick up one of these before we're all sold out. This week we have something from IDW and Hasbro in the form of Revolution issue 1. Celebrating more than a decade of stories, this 5-issue series will bring together several favourite characters from IDW and Hasbro. As explosions rip across the earth and all fingers point to Optimus Prime and the Transformers, G.I. Joe refuses to go quietly and begins to assemble a team of heroes to stop the invaders. Action Man and Mask fight for humanity, but the allegiances of Rom and the Micronauts are unknown. With both sides gearing up for war, this series is set up to be an action-packed story. We have part 6 of 6 of Civil War II Choosing Sides. As the conflict over whether or not to use the inhuman Ulysses' power of foresight to change the future spreads across the globe, will both sides lay down their arms or keep fighting to the bitter end? In this issue we catch up with Nick Fury. Having had to fake his own death to protect himself from threats within his own organisation, Fury has now discovered the identity of the Hydra Cell's leader. Can Fury act quick enough to prevent Ulysses' prediction of Hydra destroying S.H.I.E.L.D., or has Fury discovered the truth too late to prevent the future? Also in this issue we catch up with White Fox and Jessica Jones as they are drawn into the conflict of the Civil War. Our 8th comic this week is Extraordinary X-Men Annual Issue 1. Kicking off a new story arc, this issue sees the after effects of former Inhuman leader Black Bolt's decision to release a Terrigen cloud into the planet. With the large Terrigen cloud that is toxic to most people except Inhumans threatening to wash over a prison, the Warden refuses to protect the mutant inmates from the cloud. Upon hearing of this, the Extraordinary X-Men decide that it's time to take matters into their own hands and stage a prison break. Meanwhile, Moon Girl has also taken it upon herself to help solve the Terrigen crisis, causing her to find an ally in an unlikely place. 9th this week we have Adventure Time 2016 Spooktacular issue 1. Resuming the annual Halloween tradition for Adventure Time, this is the first issue in a brand new collection of spooky short stories. In this issue we see one of the most terrifying creatures in the land of Ooo rear its terrible head. That's right, Gunter the Penguin, the most evil being in the land of Ooo, takes centre stage in this first issue. 10th in line we have a re-release of Frank Miller's epic Dark Knight storyline. Dark Knight 3 The Master Race Issue 1 Director's Cut sees the Dark Knight rise once again to face the dawn of the Master Race. As an unprecedented force declares themselves Earth's new rulers, it's up to Batman to bury old grudges and rally Earth's greatest heroes to protect the planet. Finally this week we have IDW Star Trek New Vision's Swarm. In this one-shot special, we follow the crew of the original Enterprise as they encounter an incredibly dangerous alien threat. With whole star systems already dying, and an enemy that numbers in the millions, the Enterprise is the only thing that stands between salvation and the complete destruction of the Federation. Okay, that's all our suggestions this week everybody. For the full list of this week's comics you can check out our Facebook page, and for regular updates on the store you can follow our Twitter at the Geek-Aboo. Also, don't forget, next time you're in store, when you buy 3 to 4 comics, you'll get 10% off, and 5 or more comics will get you a whole 15% off. Thanks for watching everybody, and we'll see you next week.